Gina, now that we've discussed the social network strategy in more detail, can you tell me what your understanding is about what we're asking you to do?
I'm going to talk to my friends and see if I can get them to come in here for HIV testing so that they can get medical and other social services if they need them.
That's right. We're looking for you to talk to people that you're already close with. That way you're more comfortable with talking to them about HIV and testing. Is this something that you're still interested in doing?
Yeah.
So first, let's talk a little bit about confidentiality and what that means. It's important that you know that the information you share with me cannot be shared with anyone you mention to me or anyone outside the program. You'll see me taking notes, and they'll be used as a reminder about what we discuss and the plan that you like to put in place for each person we talk about.
Okay.
This information will be kept in a locked filing cabinet in a locked room, and no one will have access to it. How does that sound?
It actually makes me feel a lot better.
So let's talk a little bit about someone who you think should possibly come in and get tested. Does anyone come to mind?
Yeah, my friend Carlos. I don't think he's ever been tested.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about Carlos and your relationship with him?
Well, we're really close. He's a really good guy. He's had some tough breaks, but he's an excellent person. And I don't think he's ever been tested before.
Okay. And why do you think Carlos might be at risk for HIV?
Well, we get drunk and we party together, and he's really popular. He's had 1 million boyfriends, and from what he tells me, I don't think they're having protected sex. So I think he should know his status.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about how you would go about approaching Carlos and how would you bring up the subject of HIV testing with him?
Well, I would just say that I saw a presentation on HIV and the things people do that put them at risk.
Okay. Sounds good. Do you have any idea about when and where you might talk to him?
I haven't really thought about that yet.
Okay. And what do you think you'll tell him about testing?
Well, just that people don't even realize what they do puts them at risk for HIV, and so it's really important to find out your status.
What do you think his reaction will be when you actually bring it up?
Well, he's not going to be psyched, but he's not going to flip out.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is Carlos wouldn't react violently or anything.
Definitely not. He's not a violent guy.
Okay. And how would you feel if Carlos asked you about your own HIV status? What do you think you say?
Is that something I need to say?
No, it's completely up to you. But if he did ask the question, how comfortable do you think you'd be talking about your status and getting tested?
Well, now that I know I'm negative, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay, great. Let's talk about some different testing options. Is there anything that comes to mind? What do you think would make it easier for him?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Okay, well, we do have a few options. He could actually come in to see me. And if he comes in, he could just give me this card, and I'll know exactly why he's here. My phone number is also on there, so he could give me a call and we could set something up. We have a mobile testing unit, so I can give him some information about that. Or I could even meet him somewhere, as long as it's private, and possibly test him there.
Okay, that all sounds good. I'll just have him call you.
Okay, great. That sounds great. So I'll just wait for his call, and then he and I can set something up. And even if he decides to come in, he can bring in the card, and then I'll know exactly why he's here.
Okay. Well, the only thing is, I'm not sure how he's going to get down here.
Okay. Well, if he takes the bus, we could reimburse him, and we could even give him a bus pass to get home.
That would help. Good.
Do you think that Carlos might have any questions about confidentiality, like we discussed earlier?
Well, I'm just going to tell him, like what you told me, that it's just between us, unless, he signs or I sign a waiver so that the doctor can know. But otherwise, you don't discuss me with him and not vice versa, and it's all confidential.
Okay, let's think for a minute about when and where you might want to talk to him. The weekend might not work because we want him to have immediate access to me and the testing site. You also want to think about where you talk to him. We want to make sure it's in a private space where not too many people will overhear you. And what you talk about actually stays between the two of you.
Okay, actually he's coming over to my house tomorrow and there won't be anyone around, so I'll talk to him then.
Do you think that Carlos will get the point that he might be at risk for HIV?
Well, as long as I talk to him when he's not high, I think he might not get it at first, but he'll understand. As I said, he has a lot of sex, and I don't think that it's protected.
Okay, timing is important. How would you emphasize the importance of getting tested?
I'm going to tell him that there's a big push to get people who haven't been tested before or people who have been tested but are still running around doing things that put them at risk. We go back a long way, and he knows I want what's best for him.
Great. Gina, I'm really glad that you're going to be helping Carlos. So he's going to come over to your house and you're going to talk to him tomorrow. And you'll give him my card and he can call me or he can even come in when he's ready. I would like to check in to see how it went. So how about I give you a call tomorrow around 5?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, but if I do, I can call you. I've got your number.
Okay. Great.